Hey, how are you today? I'm going to show you today how to make a more efficient, impactful, meaningful Moth story slam ever. Alright, how are you? My name is Fernand Jimenez, and I am an eye doctor who went rogue, and now I'm teaching people how to make money on the internet. And part of that journey has taught me that I have to get out of my comfort zone, and speaking in front of people is something that a lot of people don't like to do. Even myself, I get nervous a lot sometimes, but still, you gotta push yourself out of the comfort zone, and the Moth is exactly what it gave me opportunity to do. If you don't know what the Moth is a story slam. It's a storytelling opportunity that happens once a month in a lot of the cities in the United States. And what happens is that you're given a theme for the month, and you got to come up with a 5-minute story. You show up to wherever venue they're playing this, or they're doing this event, and you sign up on a list. And if they call you, you get chosen to get on stage for 5 minutes. And you have 5 minutes, actually 6 minutes, because they give you an extra minute to wrap it up. But you have 5 minutes to tell a story. If your story is good enough, WLRN and all the sponsors will, put you on the radio and all that good stuff, okay? So here are my 3 tips on how to do a good Moth. All right, so my number one tip that I'm going to recommend that you do on the day of the Moth, okay? Do not change your schedule at all. Eat, poop, rest, work, do everything that you normally do up to the event. Usually the Moth is at 7 o'clock at night. Okay, so that is something that I had to learn I had to learn the hard way last time, and so I switched up my schedule. I switched up everything, and it totally, once I got up there up on stage, my body started to freak out on me. And I was nervous, and I'm like, dude, I never get nervous. What's going on here? And the reason why I got nervous was because my whole body was out of whack. I didn't eat, I didn't poop, I didn't hydrate. Okay, I didn't even drink water. I was in a really stressful situation that I could have totally avoided a couple hours before the Moth, right? So you kind of got to get yourself in a nice mindset. You have to, you have to get yourself in a nice mindset, and the best way to do that is to keep the rhythms that your body has going for you. Okay, so that's my first tip. My second tip on how to do an awesome, impactful Grandmaster story slamming session at the Moth is you should do exactly what I'm doing right now. You may want to consider filming yourself. Filming yourself with a camera, with an iPad, whatever you can, but give yourself 5 minutes, film yourself, see how you do it. That way you can structure out your time, see what your story is looking like, and that way you also have a sense of what the 5 minutes are for. Because sometimes you get up there, and I'll tell you, sometimes you get up there and it feels like it's 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, because this is how it goes, you show up, if they call you, you go up stage, right? You have 5 minutes, and then at the 5-minute mark, there's a harmonica that blows. Okay, and after that first blow of the harmonica, you have 1 minute, and then when they blow that harmonica twice and harder, that's it, game over. So sometimes you get caught with that first harmonica hit, and you're like, oh my lord, I'm only the third way through the story, and I've been yapping all this stuff, right? So when you film yourself, you have a chance to remedy that. You have a chance to see how you deal with that 5-minute bit of time. So I highly recommend you do that. Okay, the third tip that I have for ruling at the Moth. The third tip that I have is this. When you're designing your story, I highly recommend that you look at comedy sketches. I highly recommend that you see other people that have done the Moth, right? So you have a feel for it, because your story has to make sense, okay? Many times I've gone up there and I had the great scheme of the stories, and I've done 2 things wrong. One thing that I did was I switched the story. I was sitting there and I was looking at my story that I had written out, and right before I went on stage, I switched it. Bad move, because you got to practice that you got to do the video. So don't switch anything. What you got to remember in the Moth sometimes in storytelling, that it's more important how you say it than what you say, right? Because if you don't practice, more important how you say things, what's going to happen is that you're going to get up there and you're going to just yap, and speed it up, trying to cram in all this information because you want to share a story, when really all you have to do is pull back, say the thing, say what happened, and give a little more action to it rather than try to cram it in, okay? So I'm going to give you an example. I once told a story about a guitar professor that I had. The story was, I moved to Chicago right after I was in school, on professional school, and I met this guy, and I studied with him for 2.5 years, and then we did a book together. It went really bad. That probably kind of ruined our relationship a bit, because we started doing the business instead of just the music. And then the whole crescendo of the story is that I was finally, easing off of him. I was just, we were just doing the music, but I was easing off of hanging out with him so much. And then finally one day, he kind of finagled me to give him a ride somewhere. And when I went, I showed up, he was getting ready, and and then I went to the corner to eat a burger. When I came back, he was dead in the tub, okay? So that was the story. Now, I had it all laid out nice and beautiful. What did I do? Right before the Moth, I went and I said, no, I should put a background of why I went to Chicago and why da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And I did that before, like right there, like 10 minutes before, and guess who they called first? Yours truly, right? So I was still processing all that stuff when I got on stage. See, and I wanted you to avoid all that stuff. And how do you avoid all that stuff? Is because you have already come up with a scheme, you've already come up with the keywords, okay? And I'm gonna have other videos that I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that, but I just want you to already have this in your mind. So let's give a little review, okay? So first thing I want you to do is I don't want you to change anything in your schedule, okay? I want you to keep your normal rhythms going too, all right? Number two, I want you to film yourself. Do exactly what I'm doing for 5 minutes, all right? That's definitely going to give you a chance to grasp what the 5-minute times is, and it's going to give you an idea of how your story flows and how you manage the time. And the third thing that I want you to do, I want you to see how other people have done it. I want you to think about this as it's a story. It's all gotta fit in, all right? And so the best way to do it is to see how other people have done moths, because you can find them on YouTube. Other people have told stories, and you could also look at comedy. Stand-up comedies, because you always see how they always loop it up. They'll say one story, and then at the end or somewhere near the end, they'll bring that one element back in, and it all ties in together. Okay, if you like what I've been sharing with you, if you want to learn some more stuff, go ahead, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit the little bell notification, so whenever I throw in a new video, you'll be notified and you'll know what's up. That way you don't miss a beat. I know you're gonna tear it up. It's a process, this beautiful storytelling life thing, so don't be scared of it. If you get up there and flop, hey, I'm guilty of it. I've done it plenty of times. It's only going to get you better, all right? And remember, this is just, everybody's got a story to tell, so why don't you go ahead and share your story. Have a great day. Always keep growing, always keep sharing, always keep loving. Can't wait to see you on stage.